Hi, I'm Eric Smith, president of Redwood Media Group. Redwood Media Group owns 7 art fairs around the United States: Art Expo New York, Spectrum Miami, Red Dot Miami, Art Santa Fe, Art San Diego, Art Expo Las Vegas Winter, and Art Expo Las Vegas Summer. We're here today to provide you with the tools you need pre-show, during the show, and post-show to have a fantastic experience and to make sales at one of our events. So let's start by, prepare the show by knowing your booth size. Some of you are going to be in a 10 by 20 booth, some in a little bit bigger booth. You get to lay out the booth the way you want to, preparing the walls and the size of the walls, and then start to think about what art you're going to bring and where you're going to place it. Know what fits where before you get here, so you're not taking a long time to set up. And if you ever do Art San Diego, you can run down to the beach and have a great time while everybody else is still setting up. Number 2, have realistic expectations. So if you're entering a new market, in fact, we have Red Dot and Spectrum coming up in a couple months, and there are a number of exhibitors here that'll be at Red Dot or Spectrum, and they haven't exhibited in Miami before. So, you gotta be realistic. You gotta think, I don't know anybody there. I'm gonna have to meet people there. I'm gonna have to work it just like I am working in a gallery. Get to know somebody, introduce them to the art, let them know who you are, find a common thread of interest, take the art off the wall, all those things that you would do just like you were working in a gallery. And in a little bit, I'll get into post-show activity and we can kind of talk about what you do there. If you can build a dynamic website, that'll be great. If you have business cards, that'll be great. If you have a digital book, that would be terrific. So think about preparing some materials that you can bring to the show, that you can have displayed. In this booth behind me, Pembert Art, they've done a great job of displaying their work, hanging their work, and they do have books on the artists on display also. It gives credibility to the artists. So educate yourself. We have lots of resources on our website that you can tap into. And, one of our sales reps can point you there, or Kelly Smith, our exhibitor relations manager, can tell you where to go. Do you know your audience? If you're doing one of our Art Expo shows in Las Vegas or New York, you should know that there are trade buyers there. There will be interior designers, gallery owners, art dealers, art consultants, architects, hospitality and design people, and they want and ask for a discount, anywhere from 25, 30 to 50%. So you got to know the art lingo. 50 off, 50, 10, and quickly on that, if you have a piece that's selling at $2,000 retail, 50, 10 would be 50 off would be 1,000, another 10% off that would be 900. And that's what gallery owners expect, and even more sometimes. So be prepared on that. If you need more help on that, it's on our website on how to price your work. Prepare price tags for the walls, and you can probably see some of those behind me. I use the old acronym Title, Artist, Price, and Size, TAPS. People want to know what the price is. A lot of people think, I'm not going to put the price on the wall because I want to get into a conversation. You don't want to get into a conversation with somebody that can't afford a $15,000 piece. So put the price up there. It's a semi-qualifier for you. Square Up. Have you seen Square Up that you can put on your iPhone? It's a great credit card reader, and you should be prepared for that because a lot of people pay by credit card. Have a guest book. Put a guest book out on your table, and as people come, if they're interested, they'll sign the guest book. I mean, I've seen people walk away from our shows with, 50 to 60, people that are interested in their work. And boy, when they follow up with that, they make a lot of sales. I'll tell you a little story. We had a guy in Spectrum Miami last year who has been with us a couple of years, a dealer, and he didn't sell one piece of art. The year before, he had sold pretty well. He didn't sell one piece of art through the 4.5-day show in Miami. He went back, he followed up on all of his leads, and ended up selling 26 pieces of art post-show. You've got to follow up. People don't always make decisions on the spot, and there's a lot to see at our art fairs. And then when you go to Miami, there's 18 other fairs. So you've got to record things, you've got to get that contact information, and you have to follow up. They expect you to. Bring extra pieces if possible to the shows. So we always have a storage unit, and it's usually locked and guarded. And as you sell pieces, you can switch pieces out. Don't forget the important stuff like hammer, hooks, tape, extra boxes to pack things up, bubble wrap, maybe a stool, at least a stool that'll get you to the height of a 10-foot wall or a little ladder. Hang the work properly. Do not overhang. Think about Warhol, less is more. You know, I've met many artists in like our solo exhibition in New York. Gallery owners are much more experienced, but you know, they want to put everything up that they have, and that just does not work. It looks amateurish, and people walk by because it's too cluttered. So think about how you're going to hang the booth before you come, and give it some air to breathe, space around the pieces. And if you think I'm wrong, I'm not. And I will be coming around and asking you to take pieces down if you overhang, so don't overhang. Don't block your booth with a table. We provide tables and chairs and waste baskets in every booth. However, my big suggestion is that you keep the table off to the side or in the back of your booth, allowing people to enter. We have an account now that has been working with us for years. I don't think she'll mind me saying it's ADC Fine Art, Lisa out of Cincinnati. And she started working with us about 5 years ago. She's a great speaker at our events. And she started with a smaller booth, and now she has a 8 or 10 booth location. One day I walked by her booth in New York, and she had tables out in front, and she had great pieces behind that, and had sold quite a few. And I asked her to move the tables out of the way. I came back 10 minutes later, and she had sold another 4 pieces because people were entering her booth. So keep that in mind. You want them in your booth so you can engage in conversation. Stand up. Don't be sitting at the table on your phone. Look like you're engaged. Have a smile on your face. It's not easy working a show for 3.5 or 4.5 days. Sales don't always come in the first 2 days, and you cannot get depressed. You've got to stand up, you've got to put your hand out, you've got to shake people's hand and continue the conversation and get that contact information. A lot of sales are made after the show, and you can't get down on yourself. You got to have a positive attitude. At the beginning of New York every year, we do this type of a thing in front of 220 to 240 exhibitors. This last year, Rick Barnett, our sales director, and Linda Mariano, our marketing director, were with me. And Rick actually got a little bit, not almost angry, but he was very demanding. I want you guys to stand up and no eating in your booth. And he was really getting in everybody's face. And one of the ladies in the audience came up to me on Sunday evening at 4 o'clock, an hour before we closed the show, and said to me, I thoroughly appreciate your direction and Mr. Barnett's direction. I was going to be one of those people. I was going to sit in my booth because it's a long time to be there, but I took your advice. I did not eat in my booth, and I sold 4 pieces. I did a total of $18,000, and I have 12 leads to follow up on. And she hugged me. So, it works if you follow the directions. Don't eat in your booth. Smile and stay off your phone. Be engaging. Ask a question like, what do you like about this piece? Tell me about your collection. How long have you been collecting art? Just open-ended questions to get people talking. Don't be afraid to ask for the sale. So in my past history, I ran 20 art galleries. I had 105 art consultants working for me. And ABC, always be closing. Don't be afraid to ask for the sale. If you cannot close them, if there's some reason that, most of the time it's, my husband's not here, my better half is not here, whatever it may be, then you say, that's great. I would love for them to see the piece too. I'm prepared to bring it to your home. Be prepared to take it to their home. So if you're, traveling to Art San Diego from Miami, rent a truck here or a van or something. But if you can take it to their home and do a home show, you're going to close 95 to 97% of those deals. Once you go in their home, put a hook in the wall and hang that piece, they do not want you to take it away, and you're going to close the deal. One of the old tricks in the art business is to, if somebody's interested in a piece, put a hold sticker on it. And it's on hold. But what that shows other people coming by your booth is that there's other people interested in the work. And your work is acceptable, and it gives them permission to buy. Let's talk about a little bit what to do after the show. You get home, you're a little tired, maybe you've sold a few pieces, but do not put that guest book or your contact information away. Immediately, within 48 hours of the show closing, send a thank you card, send an email, phone call the people that were interested, add pictures of you at the show to your website, show pictures of your booth, hopefully with a lot of red dots up, like this booth behind me. Continue to follow up and be persistent, and you'll be successful. There are art dealers that do many shows throughout the year, art galleries, one behind me. It's a lot of work, but you've got to be persistent, and that's what our business is about. You're the creator or you're the dealer, and you're bringing beautiful things to people, and keep that in mind. And I'm here if you need me. You can call us anytime. Thanks.